What's up, everybody? It is time for After the Impact, and tonight it's a special episode of After the Impact. We are going to do a prediction show. So we've got Victory Road coming up on Saturday, and we are going to talk about our predictions for that card for this coming Saturday. So that is what we're going to do tonight. We will give our scores for the show as well to start off, and then we will go from there. All right. Jody's here, the Cougs here, solid go home show, 8.5 out of 10. James Chadwick is here. We've got Conrad's in the chat, and he's with us too. Look at that, in two places at once. We've got Graham Caldwell. Onward to Victory Road. Yes. All right. So what did you guys think of the show tonight? Let's start there. So let me start with Jeff. We'll start with you. What did you think of tonight's show, man?
I thought it was a good show. Another good go-home show for Impact. Solid stuff all throughout the night. Good matches. We got the stuff with Swingers Palace. We got the Su Yung sighting. So we got a lot of stuff in a short amount of time. I'm going to give this an 8.5 tonight.
All right. There you go. 8.5. What do you think, Conrad?
I'm going to agree with basically everything Jeff said. Solid show tonight. I'm going to go 8 out of 10. I thought everything worked out very well, and I did miss the follow by No Way match in the beginning. So
yeah,
I will penalize myself a little bit for my score.
Yeah, I enjoyed a lot of the matches as well. The 5-on-5 was crazy like we thought it would be. We did have some good backstage stuff. The Swingers Palace stuff is always great. I always love that. We got that a couple of times. And, of course, yeah, we got the Su Yung interruption too. So it's just like she's recruiting more and more brides. So you wonder where that's going. We got Decay winning tonight as well. So, yeah, I thought it was good stuff as well. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 as well. I thought it was a solid go-home show. They always do. Put on a really good go-home show and keep those the storylines rolling up into the next pay-per-view. I like the little subtleties we got to the Josh and Christian stuff going on in that 5-on-5 a little bit there, where Josh kind of came in and took the pin away from him. Christian kind of giving him a little nod for that too. So I like the extracurriculars and stuff that were going on as well. Let's see what everybody is scoring at. 8.88. That's random. Out of 10. 8.75 for James. 8 out of 10 for Sean Rousset. Another solid show. I would agree with Conrad. 8 out of 10. Keep them scores coming in. Yes. I give Impact an 8.5 out of 10. Great show. And Tazzy, wife Tasha, for 9 out of 10 for her. And the podcast is always 10 out of 10. Thanks, Chad. Appreciate that. Tazzy's phone probably died out. So that's why Tazzy's probably gone. Didn't make it back with the power, unfortunately. So. All right. Well, let's get into it, shall we? Because we don't have a long time to do it. So let's start to talk about Victory Road, and we will give all our predictions for the upcoming pay-per-view on Saturday. Don't forget to join us. We will be starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this coming Saturday night for Victory Road. So let's get underway. Jeff, what do we got first for our first match?
So because Impact are a bunch of jerks sometimes, they don't give me a chance to get certain graphics. So we're going to start off with the 3 matches that were added. We're going to start with Taylor Wilde versus Tenille Dashwood.
All right, Taylor and Tenille. I've got to say, Tenille has been getting the best of her as of late, although she's got people backing her up now with Jordan Grace. So let's wait. Let's see how it works out. I think that Taylor is going to win the match. I think it's about time for her to win one of these, and I think that she will win the match this time. There'll be shenanigans. So Rachel Ellering and Jordan will be out there, I'm sure, and we will get shenanigans at some point in this match. But I do see Taylor winning this match. What about you, Conrad? What do you think?
I'm so flippity on this one. I feel like this is the one that could go a lot of different ways. We got to remember too, Taylor has a title shot, right? We haven't forgotten that, right? Like that hasn't been addressed.
Right. Yeah, it hasn't been talked about. Yeah.
I feel like maybe you could have them lose here. So I'm going to go opposite just to be weird. She's got the title match in the bag. She really can't be hurt, and she could always bust that out in a backstage promo with Scott D'Amore. So I'm going to go with the heels on this one for the win.
Okay. All right. Jeff, what do you think?
I've got Taylor Wilde winning this one. Just because I think we're going to start to see more of that title shot come into play as we get closer to Bound for Glory. I think that we're going to get Mickey and Deanna at the knockouts knockdown, and then I think we get Taylor and Deanna at Bound for Glory possibly. But I've got Taylor Wilde here.
All right. What is next?
All right, so next we found out that we have a no DQ match between Matt Cardona and Rohit Raju.
This is going to be a fun match to watch, and this one could be a show stealer as well. I think I always love when Rohit is in a match. He's going to do anything he can in a heelish way to beat his opponent, and this is going to be, and of course, a lot on the line here because of Rohit's attack. Man, I'm going to go with Matt here to win. I think it's going to be a really, really good match. I think that we'll see some cheating from Rohit at some point during the match, but I think that Matt will end up winning the match overall. But again, I think this one could be a show stealer. I really do. I think this could be one of the better matches we're going to see on Saturday night. So, Jeff, what about you?
My heart wants to say Rohit.
Ooh, okay.
But my head says Cardona.
Yeah.
But I think, and I agree with Azan here, I think we start to get more of a darker, more tenacious Cardona than we've seen. And I think it's very fitting that he did everything he's done in GCW, and now we get a no DQ match. So let's see how crazy he can get in this no DQ match. But I think I'm going to go Cardona for the win here.
All right. What about you, Conrad?
I've been begging Matt Cardona to change something about him. He feels like the same dude from 2011 that we all were cheering for and were rooting for to win. I think a loss here helps. He started showing tonight to me signs of he's uncontrollable. He doesn't have control over his emotions. He did a heel thing. He attacked someone when they were walking in. That's not honorable. That's not what the baby face would do. And I think that was the first little sign of like, oh, okay. And I think Chelsea's going to join him too. I'm going to make a little bold prediction here. I think Chelsea will eventually join him as far as, let's be heels and do this together. So
that'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be cool. All right. Well, there you go. We have any more that they just announced? I think they just
one more.
That's right. We did.
Yep. We got the go to sleep. I'm sorry. We've got Willie Mack and Rich Swann versus the Good Brothers for the tag team titles.
That's right. They made an impromptu match with the Good Brothers for the tag titles. All right, Conrad, go ahead. I'll let you start.
Man, why does this have to be like this? All right, so I'm in the same position Jeff was in with the last match. My heart is telling me you go with Rich Swann and Willie Mack, but my head's telling me don't bet against the boys. You know what we're gonna do? You know what? I'm gonna go with the Good Brothers. Just because I have no other choice. But if Rich Swann and Willie Mack win, I'm just telling you guys now, I will be happy. I'll be jumping out of my seat. I'll probably be dancing. I usually write that when Rich Swann wins, I'm dancing.
James Sadwick says Mr. Knapp is going to sleep again. And if that happens, yes, the Good Brother. I'm gonna pick the Good Brothers here too. I'm gonna agree. As much as I would like Willie Mack and Rich Swann to win, I just don't think this is the Good Brothers' time to lose the titles. I think they've got maybe bigger things in store for them in Vegas. So, but yeah, I'm going to say the Good Brothers retain. What about you, Jeff?
I got the Good Brothers to retain. I think as much as I want Rich and Willie to do something big, I think the Good Brothers retain, and something is going to happen. Probably following this match, but if not directly following this match, I think it happens on the next episode of Impact, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Because we're going to be on the
Somebody
road to
said you were going to
Vegas
slap
after
me.
that. All right. What's next?
All right, so let's move on to the next one here. This is a fun one. W. Morrissey and Moose going up against Eddie Edwards and Sammy Callahan.
Man, dude, I cannot see. And I said this when those two first got together. Now, there is going to end up being friction between the two of them eventually. I don't think this will be it, though. I think they'll get along, Morrissey and Moose. And of course, I mean, listen, there could be friction between Eddie and Sammy as well. I do think, though, I just don't. I don't see how they're taking these two big men down. I really don't. I think it'll be a good match because Sammy and Eddie are just, they're those kind of fighters that won't give up. But I think Moose and Morrissey are going to win this. And I think they're, I don't know how long they will stay together before that eventual split happens. But I don't think it happens here. They're going up against common enemies, and I think they'll win. And I think it'll be a better match than a lot of people think. I think it's going to go a little longer maybe than people would have thought it would. But I do see Moose and Morrissey winning this. Jeff, what about you?
I've got Moose and Morrissey because they're Moose and Morrissey.
Yeah.
And I don't see anybody beating them right now. I see them imploding. So,
Yep.
Yeah, I've got the big guys.
Tony says, I'd like to see Morrissey versus Moose. I think that's where it's going. And don't forget now, Morrissey said that he was done after the Vegas pay-per-view. I think he said he was only signed on until then. So whatever he's going to do there is could be the last we see of Morrissey in Impact, depending on where he's going to go afterwards. So, or unless they re-sign him, we'll see. Conrad, what do you think?
So I'm trying to book this out in my head to where they're going to go. This causes problems sometimes, especially when you've been watching as long as me. My prediction is going to be Moose and Morrissey. Why? Please stare at the my left side of the screen that I'm looking at right now and just know that these two aren't playing. I could see this being booked as a 4-way as well, because I'm trying to think of what is Sammy Callahan and Eddie Edwards going to do at Bound for Glory. Maybe you could book them against another team or in some other fashion. You know what? No, I'm going to agree with Joe. I'm talking myself out of this 4-way garbage that's in my head. Moose Morrissey has to be one-on-one, and I think that'll help establish Moose. So we're going to go with them as a team. I do think we're going to see friction, but not on this night. It'll happen later on down the road, going towards Bound for Glory.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, it could be. I mean, listen, if Morrissey is leaving, what a better way to do that than to have Moose beat him. I mean, that's he's going to beat an unstoppable monster, and that'll raise him back up to that level that he was at just a little bit ago. So, yeah, absolutely. All right, what's next?
All right, so we've got Hikuleo and Chris Bay versus Finn Juice. This is going to be good.
This is a tough one to call, Jeff. I'm going to send it right back to you. What do you think?
I can't go against Chris Bay here. I can't. Finn Juice is great and all that good stuff, but yeah, give me Hikuleo and Chris Bay for the win.
Any extracurriculars after this one, Jeff? Do you think?
I don't know that we get any extracurriculars after this one.
Okay.
I think we get one with the other tag match with the Good Brothers and Willie Mack and Rich Swann, if we get any Saturday. But I don't know. It's possible, but I think it's more likely to happen with the Good Brothers.
Okay. I'm going to agree with you. I think Hikuleo and Chris Bay are going to win this as well. It just seems like the momentum is there. Finn Juice we've kind of seen on and off a little bit. So yeah, I think that they will win. They'll establish that they, establish Chris Bay a little bit more in the Bullet Club, get him into that. And then if that's what they're building up to, come Bound for Glory, then it will help that storyline along. And I think that's what probably a lot of the stuff at Victory Road is going to be. it's going to be building towards that next pay-per-view. So yeah, I'm gonna agree with Jeff here. What do you think, Conrad?
Give me the Bullet Club for the win, but I do think maybe we see them get involved. Like, I feel like this match will happen before the tag title match. If we are going to see God possibly appear, maybe they open a door, let them in, say, "Hey, what's up, boys? I haven't met you yet. Welcome me to the team. Today is the Bay." So we'll have to see what happens.
All right, there you go. What's next, Jeff?
All right, Joe has a vested interest in this one. We got Tasha Steelz and Savannah Evans versus Decay.
Tasha and Savannah holding on to those titles right now that they don't even own or didn't win, going up against Rosemary and Havoc. Man, Decay is on such a roll. They're gonna have to win belts back that they never lost. Oh man, this is a tough one to call too, because if they could lose them, I could see them losing this match. But I'm gonna go with Decay here. I'm gonna go with my heart probably instead of my head. And who I want to win more so than who I think will win. But I think Decay will get them. I think they'll get their belts back, rightfully get them back. But I think Rosemary and Havoc will win against Tasha and Savannah. I think this will be a good match, though, as well. And seeing Savannah battling Havoc should be really fun in the ring. So, but I'm going with Decay here. What do you think, Conrad?
I feel like this is more so going to be like Savannah Evans' showcase match. Like, let's see what you can really do now that the lights are on bright. You come to this company. Let's see what you can do. I think Decay ends up getting the victory, though, in the long haul of this. They need their tag titles back, so it's a redemption story.
Yep, absolutely. All right, Jeff.
Has anybody ever seen the movie Friday?
Yes.
Tasha and Savannah are Debo. Except Decay is not red. So it's going to be a little bit different. So, instead of Debo taking the chain and, Red coming up saying, "My grandmama gave me the chain," we don't have to worry about that because Decay, I think, is going to win. So I've got Decay in this one. They're going to get back the gold and beat Debo.
All right, there you go. All right, so we're all going with Decay. Nice.
How
What's
come y'all
next?
didn't help me?
You got knocked the out.
Oh my god. All right, man. What's next?
All right, so this one should be good. Josh Alexander defends that X Division championship against Chris Sabin. James Chadwick, please tell me you're joking. You've never heard of the movie Friday?
Oh wow, dude.
All right, I'm gonna have to chat with you through DMs on Twitter.
Oh no, he's got homework, Jeff.
Yeah, he's got homework. That's a classic. It's a classic, dude.
And don't watch that version on USA where it's all censored.
No.
Yeah, make sure you get it somewhere where James can't be uncensored. Yeah, you gotta watch it uncensored. Josh versus Chris Sabin. Again, I think Josh is going to be involved in another match that may be a show stealer. This could be match of the night. This could be one of those that gets considered for match of the year eventually. I think it's going to be a great match between these two guys. This is going to go long, but I see Josh coming out on top. I don't think Josh is going to lose that X Division title until he decides to lose it. Whether or not he does something with it to turn it in for something else, we'll see. But I think this one is going to be a great match between these two guys. But ultimately, I think it's the veteran putting over the young guy to get him further along in that quest to get that Impact Championship. So I'm saying Josh Alexander. Go ahead, Conrad. What do you think?
Give me Josh, man. I think Josh has to fit the story. Josh is being built right now, still to get that opportunity that we all want to see him get. I love Sabin. Sabin's been hitting his marks as far as what he's going to do. He's doing a great job. He knows he's a veteran in the ring. I think they're going to put on a heck of a match. I think this could be the match of the night. It could steal the show.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Jeff?
I've got Josh because I think what they're doing with Josh is they're building him up. because I think he's eventually going to have a clash with Christian. It just makes sense. Two Canadians. I feel like it's going to be a passing of the torch kind of deal. So, so that means that he's got to win this one. I think Chris Sabin sees Josh as a up and coming guy who deserves this push that he's about to get even more so. Like, he's been on a run, but I think it's going to get better. Yes, Graham, that is correct. That's Friday. So yeah, I've got Josh in this one to retain, and yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what they do next. I thought it was very, very interesting tonight on Impact that Josh and Christian had a couple of encounters and some moments there. So I think that's just setting up, like Conrad said earlier, some foreshadowing for things to come.
Yeah, we can, and maybe those things are coming sooner than we thought.
Yeah.
That's kind of what the feeling I got from that is. We might be seeing things happening a little faster than maybe we thought they might. I see this build for Josh even better than AJ, says Tony. Yeah, I think it's going to be a great match. All right. What is up next, Jeff?
All right, the last one that I have, Christian Cage defends the Impact World Championship against Ace Austin. And we know that where Ace Austin is, Madman Fulton is probably lurking somewhere close by.
Yeah, Madman Fulton, I'm sure, will be out there at ringside for sure, along with Ace in the ring. This one has a chance to be good as well. I think this could be a good match between the two. I think that Christian will put over Ace a bit here again to showcase his talents. Ace always looks good, and I don't think this will be any different. I'm going to go, though, with Christian. I think he holds on to this. I don't think he's going to drop that title until Josh Alexander and him meet up. And then that will be the time that Christian will relinquish that belt. But I don't think it'll be to Ace Austin here. Again, I think it'll be a good match. You know, does Madman Fulton get involved? And listen, what's to say that Madman might get involved and maybe one Josh comes down to maybe help out with Madman Fulton, since we've seen the two of those guys going at each other in the past and even tonight in tonight's match as well. So I'm going with Christian Cage to retain. Jeff, what about you?
I've got Christian retaining just because I think while I think Ace is deserving of the title, I would wait a little bit before doing that. But yeah, that I feel like Christian's going to retain here. But yeah, that's what I think happens. I don't think it's time for Ace Austin just yet, but I do think it happens within the next year or so, or maybe he ends up moving on, and this is where we land with it. But I do think it's in his future, just not right now.
All right, go ahead, Conrad. You're up.
This is going to be Ace Austin's chance to show where he belongs on the card. I'm sure he's been in the X division, but I think this is like, you want to be a main eventer? Show me. You're going to go in there with Christian. And I think this is going to be his chance to show, can you make people believe in you enough once you get in that ring with Christian? I think Christian is the perfect person to face in Ace Austin right now. It's going to be a real test for him because usually he goes in there and he's outclassing everybody that's he's working with. Christian's going to elevate him, I think, to the next level. But while doing that, you already know. We know what the story is, and we know who we're elevating immediately.
Yes.
And we know where we need to go. So I'm going to say Christian Cage gets the victory here. But Ace Austin, I believe, will have a nice showing. I don't know how Madman Fulton gets taken out. I don't know if Edge is running down with the Feast or Fire briefcase, but this should be a barn burner, like with everything that they can mess with and manipulate in this match.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. I think that's it. That all the matches?
That's it. That's
all
it.
Right. Well, there you go. There are all the matches. And do you guys think do you think we're getting any big surprises for this one? I know Jeff kind of alluded to a little bit. Or do you think they kind of pretty much saved their hand for Bound for Glory?
I feel like if you have some of these other names that have been rumored to be signed, I think you have to start getting ready to debut them as soon as possible. If you have at least one of the three that we've all been hearing and talking about,
Yep.
put them on this show. Let some buzz. Impact Wrestling needs that buzz right now. It's because they want to get as many eyes watching this as they can, and I think they want that crossover appeal from other companies. What better way than to get people talking like, oh, insert person, whoever is here tonight. Unbelievable. You need to check out Impact. And we got more surprises along the way than during your weekly Impact shows. Put another one out there. Then the next week, if you get all three, put another one out there. You could do some different things to set up some really good matches.
I would like to see a certain tag team show up to challenge Decay after they win. That a lot of people have talked about for a while and never showed up anywhere. And again, it would be completely out of the blue because it's not somebody that they've been talked about as signing or bringing in. It would be a real surprise, but I would like to see that happen. Jeff, do you think, other than, what you had previously mentioned and what you're expecting, any other surprises showing up during this one? Or like I said, are they going to wait more for Bound for Glory?
I think we get a vignette for one Buddy Matthews. I think we get something along those lines. Yeah, I mean, we could possibly get something for formerly known as Braun too. I don't know what he's going to go by, Titan, or whatever. But I think we get something for one of those guys. And honestly, as we get closer to Bound for Glory, look for more things to show up in those promos.
Now, you guys have been talking about these glitches. Inform me. Maybe I'm getting old and I just don't see it. What are you guys seeing in this? Like, what do you think? Are there any predictions yet? Or are you guys still kind of like, eh?
The Vegas sign was the first one. If you watch the original one, the Vegas sign flickered. So the sign used to be steady, and then all of a sudden it just flickered, and you heard that kind of, it's almost like that channel changing noise, Jeff, right? When somebody would change an old TV channel. Yep. And then you got it all through all the logos. So you got like that flicker going through all those logos when the logos were solid as well. Now, I mean, first thought I had was Bray Wyatt, because we've seen that with the Funhouse, we've seen that flicker, and we've seen that kind of thing before. So that's where it went with me. And they were talking about signing him, and they were saying that it's come down to them and AEW. So, and we've both said, I've said I'd love to see him in Impact, even if it's just for a little while. I wouldn't care if he was there for 2 months and then went over to AEW. But yeah, that's the first thing that I thought about. But go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, I think it might be a hint at Bray possibly coming with this new. I feel like whatever we see from him is going to be something we haven't seen before. Deanna is saying it also could be EC3. That could happen. He could be, bringing his the people that he's freed.
Yep.
He could be bringing them all together as one big happy family of destruction. But I think Bray may be showing up there with something new. I hope that's what happens, because I really think that if Impact somehow, some way gets Bray, then I mean that's a game changer. But if they somehow, some way get Buddy Matthews, Braun, and Bray,
oh boy,
then you have to at that point, if you're a wrestling fan, you've got to take Impact more seriously. Like I'm astonished that people don't take them more serious already, but if you get those three, and then if that certain tag team, I think they're calling themselves the Inspiration now.
Mm-hmm.
That's ironic.
Yeah.
I'm just sorry.
So, I mean, if you somehow get them in the mix as well, And we do know that Mercedes Martinez is going to be at Knockouts Knockdown.
Yep.
So, I mean, at this point, if you're a wrestling fan and you're not paying attention to Impact, you're doing yourself a disservice.
They will definitely get eyes on this product if he comes over. He's that big of a name, and he's got that big of a fan base. So without a doubt, and it kind of annoys me, to be honest, because I see people talking all about it on Twitter all the time, and all I'm seeing is, oh, when's he getting AEW? When's he getting AEW? When's he getting AEW? And it just, to me, it shows that there's no, and I get it. Like, I mean, them and WWE are the two big companies, right? I get that. But like Jeff said, it's not showing any respect to another player that's involved. And, people go to the money. Well, they don't have the money. Well, they do. And it may not be all about the money for Bray either. Like I said, even if he just does a little 4 or 5 month stint over there, and maybe they, hey, D'Amore and Tony Khan must have been talking because you had the whole Kenny Omega thing going on. So they could be talking about this too and saying, all right, let him start over there. And then, 4 or 5 months down the line, and he comes over here and maybe does something with Matt Hardy or something along those lines. So, but yeah, it does. It upsets me too, James, because they right away just think, well, no, he's got to be going to AEW. I think more people would think that he would go back to WWE than go to Impact, which I think is ridiculous. So, but yeah, so that's what we've seen in the glitches. That's what I kind of think it is. Now, whether it could be a tease, because they've done that. They always do that for Slammiversary. They put teases in for everyone that's out there. So it could just be a tease, but I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
Do you guys see any build towards any of the matches? Because remember, in the graphics for Bound for Glory, since we first started seeing them, we've seen AAA, we've seen Bullet Club, we've seen AEW. Maybe there's going to be more than Christian there. Do you guys see any build possibly beginning here too, or do you guys think they saved that for weekly television?
Oh man, I could see it, and I think like what Jeff was saying too about the Bullet Club and stuff like that. I could see that being built up here. It would make sense if someone shows up there for that. But yeah, I think the AEW stuff may come a little bit later on. That could even be more of a hint toward a woman's thing as well. Whether somebody
Deanna and Britt Baker have been teasing they wanted to face each other,
right? So I think that the AEW part of it could be the women's match. But yeah, I think honestly I don't know that they're gonna have all of it. They may have one thing, and if it's gonna be the Bullet Club that they're gonna do, I don't think they'll really bring out anything else for this on a Saturday pay-per-view that's before one of their biggest ones of the year. I think they would, like you said, build it up on TV. Jeff, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you want more eyes on your weekly product, then you do more build there. I think that's how you start to draw people in a little bit more. And I mean, I do think that the AEW Impact crossover could be between Deanna and Britt. I do think that's a possibility. That's where I would go with it. Because I mean, we don't really need to see, Christian against somebody else in AEW right now. We want to see I want to see Josh and Christian, but I'll take whatever I can get. But yeah, I would rather see that, and let's see how NWA gets involved other than Mickey James. If they get involved, let's see what else happens. But that would be what I'd do. I'd build on the weekly show.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's a smarter thing to do. You get more eyes watching and saying, "Hey, look, it's going to be that whole thing they had going on with Kenny." It definitely got eyes on the product. There's no doubt. And I think when it ended, I think people kind of went away maybe a little bit from the product as well. And I can only speak from our standpoint, but I could see the viewers that we get on our show aren't as much as they were when Kenny was around. So I think they're going to try to make that happen again and get eyes back on them again, especially with that pay-per-view. So, and it would be smart if you want to get people tuning in week after week to start doing that on the shows that are on weekly. So I agree. I definitely agree. All right, guys, we are at that time of the night where we are going to say good night. We have day jobs that we have to get to bed for. So that said, thank you all for coming out. We really appreciate those of you who came out to watch tonight. We know it's late, so thanks for staying up with us. Thanks to Conrad for joining us as well. Conrad, like I said, you're more than welcome anytime, man. Come by Saturday night. If you're not doing anything, we will be here. Tazzy maybe will have his power back, and maybe he'll be able to join us too. We'll see. So, guys, make sure you join us Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Victory Road. And we will be doing that as a watch along this coming Saturday. Don't miss that. Also, again, we'll be back here tomorrow for SmackDown. Again, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our SmackDown watch along as well. So make sure you come out for that also. So from Jeff, from Conrad, and myself, we hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Stay safe out there. And hopefully we will see you all again for our next broadcast. Have a great night, guys. Good night.